Hello everyone, my name is Jin and welcome to my archive. Today I'll be providing a summary of Wuthering Waves 2.0 main story quest. There will be my personal thoughts added as we go through the story. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other videos. Anyways, let's begin. We start the story at Black Shore where Rover visits Shorekeeper. It seems that Abby's frequency is weakening and it asks Shorekeeper for help. Abby's condition has an effect on Rover as well. Before providing an answer, Rover was shown a recording of their past self. From Rover of the past, we learned that information regarding Rover was intentionally erased by Rover themselves. This was to ensure that the current Rover could walk among the people and have a taste of civilization struggle. This is something important to note. Rover of the past is aware of Abby, but in the past, Abby was still asleep. Rover of the past tasked the current Rover to head towards Rinascita, the land of echoes, to seek out Imperator, their sentinel. Imperator might have knowledge on how to fix Abby's weakening frequency. Also something to note that currently the Dronodian's revival in Jinzhou has caused similar reactions across other countries. However, Rinascita was an exception. Provided with a letter from the Montelli family to celebrate the Carnival in Rinascita, Rover sets off as a representative of Black Shore. Their two main tasks to investigate the Dronodian and find a cure for Abby. During their voyage, Rover was ambushed by Cetus the Tidebreaker, a gentle giant tacitus discord that roams the deep waters. However, something is causing it to be aggressive. Rescued by Brant, captain of the troop of fools, Rover obtains some information on Imperator. At the Carnival's peak, the Imperator will crown the festival's finest performer, the Laurel. The laureate may hear the Sentinel's voice and speak with it. Brant provides Rover passage to Rinascita. Along the way, Rover was able to meet some members of the crew, which includes Echoes, the ship itself, and a strange suitcase. Introducing Abby to the crew as well, Brant was surprised as Abby is unique even to those of Rinascita. Brant drops Rover off at Raguna's lighthouse, bidding them farewell. At the lighthouse, Rover witnessed the sacred pilgrimage of the Order of the Deep. The pilgrimage exiles those that have sinned and labeled them as fools. As they were about to interfere, Rover was stopped by Cristoforo, introducing himself as a traveling playwright. The reason he stopped Rover was due to his own interests and believed that staying silent would better serve Rover in the long run. From Cristoforo, Rover learns that the tradition of the pilgrim's sail was born from a devout follower who set sail in search of the Sentinel. However, in the present, the pilgrims have very little choice in the matter. Arriving in Raguna, Rover was stopped due to their terminal, but with the Montelli's letter, they were granted passage. Phoebe, an acolyte of the Order, stepped forward to complete the process and guided Rover to the Genesis Nexus. The Genesis Nexus was like a beacon that guided the people in the past to finding Rinascita when driven out of their home by the Lament. When inquiring about an audience with the Sentinel, Rover learned from Phoebe about Primus Fenrico, the Resonator of the Sentinel. Bearing the title of the Enlightened One, he is able to directly connect with Imperator. Parting ways with Phoebe, the next destination is Alvarado's bank to collect the funds provided by the Montelli family. There we meet Zani, an employee of the bank and the Montellis. She is to serve as Rover's guide and bodyguard. Heading over to Trattoria Margherita, Rover and Zani ordered some food to feed Abby and themselves. While resting, a Vitrium dancer lost control and was about to strike Rover. However, something caused it to stop and a vision was shown to Rover instead.
Thou hast come at last. I am the Imperator. Aid me, O Arbiter, that we may return the lost unto the earthly realm.
Once the vision was over, the Vitrium dancer knelt down in front of Rover before fleeing. After it fled, Rover was eager to track it down and requested Zani's help to investigate the situation, leading them to learn two key details. First, the Fasalia family, a rival family of the Montelli, is involved and is trying to stop the Carnival. Second, with Fulmine, Madame Narla, and a young woman's help, they were able to pinpoint the person behind it as Gilberto from the Fasalia family. Gilberto's tracks led towards the Church of the Order of the Deep. It seems that the Fasalias and the Order are working together. Inside, Rover met Priest Alicio and learned that the Carnival hasn't been held for a very long time due to the last one that caused chaos and mayhem. That chaos was quelled by Primus Fenrico. Parting ways with Priest Alicio, Rover enters a confessional that acts as an elevator, and we, the player, learn that Frolova of Fraxidus is in cahoots with the Order. Continuing the chase after Gilberto, Rover and Zani meet Cristoforo at a small village. There, Rover learns about Flordelis, the Blessed Maiden. Also known as the Martyred Maiden, she sacrificed herself during the Dark Tide and saved Roguna many years ago. Cristoforo also told the two that Gilberto's arrival in the village has caused echoes to vanish. Using this clue, Rover continued to investigate and find a Lycoris petal, after being attacked by the missing echoes. From the Lycoris petal, Abby was able to sense that the frequency is from a very strong resonator, but Gilberto isn't that strong, so who could it be? As Rover and Zani discussed their next step, Abby spotted Phoebe, who seemed to have lost an echo named Beppe. Explaining the situation to Phoebe, Rover showed her the Lycoris petal. Phoebe revealed that the flower was in the cathedral, worn by Priest Alicio. Learning that the Order are in cahoots with the Vassalia and are behind the missing echoes, the three reached an agreement to have Phoebe join as a neutral party. After the discussion, Beppe showed up and seemed to be running away from something. The team investigates the source and finds Gilberto, saying prayers to Imperator and to a being called the Lords of Tides and Riddles. Their preparation against the Carnival is complete and is pending approval from someone he calls Her Majesty. While eavesdropping, the team was discovered and confronted Gilberto, who summoned echoes but turned them into tacit discourse using the Lycoris. After Gilberto's defeat, the team learned that he was merely a distraction. Their true goal was to seize Lorelei, a powerful remnant creature in the Nimbus Sanctum who is responsible for stopping the Sea of Clouds that can reduce an area to ruins. Zani and Phoebe stayed behind to watch Gilberto, while Rover proceeded towards the Nimbus Sanctum. The three agreed to meet up after handing Gilberto over to the Montelli family. At the gondola to enter the Nimbus Sanctum, Rover meets the young woman from Madame Narla's shop. The two shared a boat to her destination. While waiting for her train, she gave Rover a brief backstory on the Montellis and Fassalia's ideals. Montellis are champions of innovation, while Fassalias cling to tradition. The struggle between the two families will soon end due to Rover, given a new title, the Fated One. She leaves without giving Rover her name. Meeting up with Phoebe and Zani, Rover proceeds to the entrance of Lorelei's domain. There, they were greeted by a follower of Lorelei who told Rover that people bearing the Mask of Madness were here before, and the entrance to Lorelei has been sealed off. To enter, a specific song needed to be sung. The song is called the Aria of the Blessed Maiden. With Phoebe's help, the entrance was open. Inside was the Vitrium dancer Rover was looking for and a rampaging Lorelei. Subduing Lorelei, Rover destroyed the Lycoris that caused her rampage. Recognizing the flower, Rover learned that Fraxidus is involved. From Lorelei, Rover learned that she was molded by the Sentinel and was granted a soul. She was tasked with the mission to restrain the clouds and prevent the remnant energy in it from dissipating. The more important thing is that the Sentinel's link to the mortal realm is severed, and only through the Carnival can mortals briefly commune with it. This statement puts into question Primus Fenrico, who said he was given a direct oracle from the Sentinel. However, the only way to commune with the Sentinel is through the Carnival, and not the so-called Enlightened One. Parting ways with Lorelei, the team reconvened outside to decide their next course of action. Phoebe told Rover that not all Primus are the Enlightened One. Only Fenrico claimed it because he said he can directly communicate with the Sentinel. Phoebe decided to return to the Order while Rover and Zani head towards Alvarado's vault. At the vault, Rover meets the young woman once more, who officially introduces herself as Carlotta Montelli, the second daughter of the Montelli family with the title Executioner. Speaking with Carlotta, Rover learned that there are traitors in the Montelli family and they are currently in the vault's tuning room trying to destroy any evidence against the Fassalia and the Order. With Zani protecting the entrance, Rover and Carlotta are to enter the tuning room through a back door with a two-tier security system, built with foresight of possible betrayal. To bypass it, it would require two people with absolute trust in each other. Although they just met, Rover and Carlotta decide to trust each other as they share the same goal. After catching and interrogating the traitors, Carlotta and Rover learned that one of the top brass of the family, using encrypted channels, was behind the traitors. Who is it? No one knows. Leaving the tuning room, Carlotta took Rover to the showcase room of the vault, holding the true splendors of the Montelli's heritage. Carlotta explains the reason for the Montelli's investment in reserve terminals and their history. The Montellis believed that the reliance on common echoes shackled Rinascita's ambition to venture beyond their borders. The Order's monopoly on common echoes is to keep Rinascita isolated, to shape the narrative but disguise it as sullying the sanctity of echoes. Because whoever controls the echoes controls Rinascita. Even when they were a third-rate family, mocked for their adventurous spirit, the Montellis are the lead pioneers of echo technology in the past and present. The Vitrium Dancer that approached Rover is one of the family's earliest echoes, the first Vitrium Dancer. From a file, Rover learned that the Vitrium Dancer were tacit discords whose frequency originated from stained glass with depiction of the Order's religion. The first Vitrium Dancer was found by a Montelli ancestor who received the laurel and was instructed to go to the tower abandoned by the Order. On his deathbed, the ancestor said that the oracle would not affect the present but would determine their future course of events. This Vitrium Dancer was planted by Imperator and probably Rover of the past a long time ago. Continuing their investigation, Rover and Carlotta went to the tower's ruin where they restored the window panes. It tells a story of the past.
Together with the inscriptions on the tablet, it should be... In the earliest days of Rinascita, there were two divinities. One rules the sky and the other the seas, eternally at odds with each other. Amidst the turmoil they wrought, Rinascita evolved. In those times of legend, people waged war over their disparate fates. All this was ended by an unprecedented TD outbreak. The Dark Tide, so was it known. It ravaged a great part of Rinascita. After the Dark Tide, Napoli, the first Primus, restored civilization from the ashes. He founded the Order to guide the broken Laguna. Yet, not long after, he went to be with the divinity. On his deathbed, he spoke to the believers. Once whole, the divinity was rent by warring creeds. From their holy wounds sprang the curse of Dark Tide. Though the woes of Rinascita yet endure, the shattered divinity hath chosen their herald. On the grandest of days, the maiden, crowned with golden laurel, shall commune with the divinity. Thus she becomes the prophesied enlightened one, through whom Rinascita's woes shall end. Then, the divinity shall return to its true form, and Rinascita, under its glory, shall be a paradise, free of suffering.
The story was a truth that the Order buried. As the two were about to leave for an island north of the tower, the Order ambushed them. Taking down the opposition, Carlotta questioned the envoy, but he tried to pass it off as Carlotta experiencing madness and hallucination, even threatening a pilgrim sale, their way of dealing with truth seekers. Alessio arrives to de-escalate the situation, but Carlotta continues to push. She states that the Order is trying to pass Fenrico off as the Enlightened One, trying to seize the Sentinel's power and rule Roguna. Irritated, Alessio resolved to threat and used her uncle's life as leverage. Stuck between her responsibilities as a Montelli and her trust in Rover, Carlotta improvised and made a way for Rover to escape. After escaping the order, Rover searched for a way to the Wailing Ascent, but was then attacked by a bone dragon. Attempting to stop the dragon, Rover and Abby were pushed back and fell off a bridge. Awakened on a shore surrounded by tacit discord, Rover was assisted and greeted by Roshia and Pero. Recalling the situation, it turns out that Abby pulled Rover to shore and retreated into Rover's body after exhausting its energy. From Roshia, Rover learned that the Dragon of Dirge resides at Penitent's End, where they washed up. The truth that Carlotta wanted to show Rover resides here. Led by a lingering will, the two were able to navigate through the area and avoided the dragon. There we see the Pilgrim sail from the beginning of the game. The ship, although torn to pieces, had no reverberation, so the people must have escaped. Following the sound of fighting, Rover and Roshia grouped up with Brant, who expressed joy seeing his friend Rover. With Brant was Andreas, one of the survivors of the Pilgrim sail. Brant proposed for Andreas to join their troop of fools, with the reveal that everyone in their troop was marked as fool by the order, and were all sent on a pilgrim sail as well. The pilgrimage turns out to be a banishment in disguise, and the path of salvation the order preached does not exist. The other survivors headed towards the sacrificial arena, the territory of the Dragon of Dirge, believing it would grant them forgiveness. Saving the other survivor, Roshia, Brant, and Rover faced the Dragon of Dirge, Gehinnom. With the dragon subdued, Abby came out. Although okay, its condition was getting worse as it couldn't swallow the frequency from Gehinnom's blast. Abby suggested for Rover to link with Gehinnom because there is a secret to be seen in its memories. From the link, Rover saw that the Order found a way to control the dragon. It seems the Order forced Gehinnom's frequency to decay faster, requiring it to consume more frequency to survive. Thus, the reason it started attacking all living things, including human beings. Brant found a Lycoris in the area, stating that Fraxidus had a hand in this. The troop knows of Fraxidus during their sea escort missions, and also found a Lycoris on Cetus the Tidebreaker. Learning that Rover seeks the Laurel, the troop and Rover's goal align, so they invited Rover to their base. After Rover spoke with the Laureate, who was also marked a fool by the Order, Carlotta showed up. Carlotta is a benefactor of the Troop of Fools. With Carlotta's arrival, she and Rover exchanged information. The last Carnival, a decade ago, was the last sighting of Imperator. It was accompanied by the Sea of Clouds, tacit discords roaming the streets, a dragon's roar, and the Sea Behemoth. For this Carnival, the Sea of Clouds was now prevented with Rover waking up Lorelei in the Nimbus Sanctum. The tacit discord roaming was stopped after discovering the traitors in the vault. The dragon was subdued and the only thing left was the Sea Behemoth. The reason the Order is trying to sabotage the Carnival is to call upon divine punishment and use the opportunity to become the savior. Faith in the Order has waned for the past 10 years since the Sentinel's absence. A successful Carnival will probably reveal the truth about the Primus and the Order. The Laureate, who can commune with the Sentinel, might reveal that the Primus and the Order are lying. Coming up with a plan, Brant invites Rover and Carlotta to be part of their performance. They will confront Fraxidus and turn it into a theatrical performance as if it was part of the Carnival. This way, they can kill two birds with one stone. The night before the Carnival, Rover and Carlotta had a stroll around Laguna. During the stroll, Carlotta told Rover the origin of the Blessed Maiden.
Once, the Blessed Maiden was just a simple peasant girl. During the Sentinel's gratitude rite, the young fleur-de-lis managed to sneak past the guards and drink the sacramental wine. Every drop. Perhaps it was the intoxicating wine in Eglatown, or simply her lack of experience with spirits. But she soon found herself quite drunk. Swaying on her feet, she ascended the ceremony's grand platform, lifted her threadbare dress, and began a rather ungainly dance. Seizing the sacred horn, she played a carefree folk tune, dodging the guards and weaving through the crowd with surprising agility. Remarkably, the crowd, as if drawn by an unseen force, followed her lead, transforming the solemn ceremony into a wild parade of cheers and revelry. Naturally, the Order was less than pleased. The pilgrim sale did not yet exist, so Fleur-de-Lis faced 3 days of confinement. During that time, she used her prison walls as a canvas. That unforgettable day of disordered revelry left a lasting mark on all who witnessed it. Is it not remarkable? A rebellious girl chosen by the Sentinel to become the Blessed Maiden. If the Sentinel indeed permitted such a girl to serve as their spokesperson, it suggests that all this joyous revelry is not something they disdain. Perhaps they too enjoy poetry, painting, tears, laughter, romantic tales of knights, and dancing amidst crowds, much like ourselves.
At the end of their walk, Carlotta and Rover reaffirmed their resolve and rested for the night, preparing for the performance tomorrow. The day of the Carnival has arrived. As the troop of fools make their entrance, Rover chases after Frolova. The show has begun.
Time has come. Let's go. Let's celebrate together.
When freedom is unchecked, the insidious evil of division takes root. People of the Sentinel, do not lose yourselves in these fleeting pleasures. Remember what unites us all.
What is that? Friends! Why lead a life of restraints? Why not live like there's no tomorrow? High walls fall fast. All you free spirits, join us to set sail again!
The stage is set, and the curtain rises. Actors, the moment to dazzle has arrived. The magic is ready to unfold.
Our hero, with Carlotta and the troop of fools, was able to overcome Frolova and was crowned the laureate. You can check out the full cutscene at Wuthering Waves' official YouTube channel, Wuthering Waves Story Cinematic, Finale as Overture. Given the laurel, Rover heard a voice revealing that Imperator is sealed in an inverted tower suspended in the sky. Rover is to seek the lost, who wanders briefly amongst them during the Carnival. Spotting a mysterious woman, Rover gave chase. Just as they are about to talk, her tacit mark glowed and she rushed to leave. Before leaving, she gave her name, Carthathea. With the arrival of Carlotta, Carthathea vanished. Rover discovered that they were the only one able to perceive Carthathea. After a brief rest, Rover met up with Carlotta, who found information in Carthathea. Carthathea was the name of the Blessed Fleur-de-Lis before given her title. The group continued their talks of future plans to establish an alliance with the Thessalias. It was then interrupted by a member of the Order who came with an invitation from the Primus for Rover. Accepting the invitation, Rover met up with the Primus in the church who shared some information. However, it is up to Rover and you, the player, to decide what is true until we learn more in the future, even though Fenrico swore that there would be no deceit. 1. The troop of fools can perform within the city permanently. 2. The Sentinel's body is greatly wounded due to the Dark Tide 20 years ago. 3. The Dark Tide actually came from the Sentinel's blood. 4. Fenrico was given authority to cleanse the aftermath of the Dark Tide. 5. Fleur-de-Lis is the resonator of the Dronodian, Leviathan, and is not the Blessed Maiden. This is where the 2.0 story ends for Rover, awaiting information from Carlotta. In the epilogue, the player sees Frolova having a conversation with Cristoforo. Cristoforo has plans of his own, and it seems the events happening are something he planned. The entire play seems to have the premise:
The one from a faraway land who discerns the truth dares to raise their sword against the divine. In response, the slumbering gods break free from their shackles, revealing their true forms.
The next act will be regarding the second Resonance Awakening of the Blessed Maiden. This doesn't mean it will be in the 2.1 update. Is she the resonator of the Dronodian, the Sentinel, or maybe both? To end this scene was a conversation about Rover that leaves us with more questions about the story that will unfold.
The possibility of the second Resonance Awakening is now a certainty, so we just need to see if that special resonator truly exists. Was the Blessed Maiden a resonator for the Sentinel or the Dronodian? Or both? If so, oh, a resonator capable of wielding both powers. I am eager to see how this story ends. Cristoforo, if you don't want to spoil the next act, I might have to give your carefully crafted plot a little nudge. Speaking of which, that Rover shines brighter than anyone else in your play. Do you find him interesting as well?
Frolova, it seems we walk different paths. I don't share your fondness for that sort of puppet theater. I merely place the characters on their stage and they act out their fates, driven by their own volition. To remain courageous amidst absurdity. To pursue a spark of divine grace. This, to me, is the truest essence of humanity. Don't you think? Even the most pristine cadence of death pales beside the untamed, fervent, and tenacious spirits of the living. In their journey, they resolutely overcome all obstacles. They pursue, they tear, they burn, simply because they desire to. I think you should leave your secluded mansion. Take a walk and listen to the voices scattered across the world.
Perhaps. From Huanglong to Rinascita, he has indeed added a few unexpectedly beautiful notes to my symphony.
I am certain that, even without any direction, he will walk the path that destiny has laid before him. All things ascend toward a singular point of convergence, and what awaits at the end is immortality before the tides of fate. We are all but humble servants.
How did you like the 2.0 story? For me, it was fairly interesting and I was kept engaged for majority of it. A big improvement from 1.0 in my opinion. To me, this entire situation reeks of Rover of the Past's meddling, just like how Joy's knowledge of the future actually came from Rover of the Past. I hope you liked the summarization of the 2.0 story. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you have anything you want me to take a look at, let me know in the comments below. This is Jin checking out. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!